We're talking Philly sports.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
And New York sports.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
And the unique history and relationship between the two cities. With Mike Carr.
You're so money and you don't even know it.
And Adam Turkel.
I agree. Nobody's madder about than I am. They're going to say that, and I'm going to look at them and say, "Hi, you're right."
This is the Battle for I-95 podcast, starting now.
All right, welcome to the Battle for I-95 podcast, episode 2, brought to you by Easy Moving. Moving's difficult enough. Do it the easy way. Servicing Fairfield, Connecticut, and removal in New York. And I'm one half of your show. I am Adam the Turkel, New York fan, and my partner here is a douchebag from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia specifically, Mr. Mike Carr. How you doing today, Mike?
Everything's great. Knicks are out. Rangers are about to get their asses whooped. Everything's great today.
Here we go. You're really going to do this? We're really going to start like this right away? I mean, there's
listen, you put it on. Here we go. You were going off last week about, oh my God, the Knicks, they're the toughest team. Now they're single-handedly blew it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, since you're going to go there, I guess that's kind of where we have to start. You know, now that we're in our second episode, we're going to go more to the modern sports side of things and talk about the goings current and what's more current than the NBA playoffs. And considering the Knicks just got eliminated 2-3 days ago, it's a painful subject, as you know, for me as a big Knicks fan, right? So let's get into the series itself. There's no denying. The Knicks were up 2-0 and then 3-2 and should have won the series. And 3-2, but I'm going to say but. As soon as OG Anunoby got hurt at the end of game 2, I knew it was going to be a lot more difficult because there was just nobody to defend Pascal Siakam. And it was going to be a shit show. And it was. Listen, I got to give Pascal credit. He took advantage of the matchup problems. He was efficient. He pretty much scored at will. And, you know, the Knicks go out and blow him out in game 5 to take the 3-2 lead, which I was a little surprised they blew. You know, I mean, and Josh Hart in game 6 strains his abdomen. And I knew that was not good because he is their do everything guy. He is Mr. Rebound. He is Mr. Hustle, dive on the floor. To his credit and to OG Anunoby's credit, they both started game 7. OG looked like a statue. He had his first 2 shots, but the Pacers are smart. They went right at him, and they showed that he just couldn't move laterally. And Thibodeau had to get him right out of the game after 4 minutes. And Josh Hart, you could see it. He didn't have that explosiveness to him. And I'm going to give Indiana credit here. I have never fucking seen it shoot 76% in the first half of a game 7. And that, by the way, is an NBA record. And, you know, we get to this third quarter, and the Knicks come out on fire. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I said, here we go, you know. And the Knicks are going, and now they're hitting threes, and all of a sudden it's 6. I'm like, yo, okay, this is how it goes down. Indiana comes back, hits a 3, hits another 3, makes it 12. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was a 2+1 on the foul on Halliburton, and that's when Brunson smacked the back of his hand against Halliburton's knee. And when I saw him leave the floor, I said, oh, shit, it's over. There was the injury that they couldn't take, Mike. Listen, this team, I know you want to give me shit because you're from Philly, but even you have to admit this. I have never seen a team minus 4 starters. 4. And then 5 when Brunson left. 5 starters able to go even this far in the playoffs. And as a Knicks fan, I appreciate how hard this team played. Because to be honest with you, when we lost Mitchell Robinson against Philadelphia, we had no business beating Philadelphia. I'm going to be frank with you about that because Robinson was the guy that would be able to cover Embiid. He's the guy that was big enough, and the numbers show it over their careers, that Robinson gives Embiid fits. And, the Knicks found enough gas in the tank because they still had JB. They still had OG Anunoby. They were still able to pull things off. But the Brunson injury, it was just too much, man. And I think as much as Indiana was playing great, as soon as Brunson got hurt, the wind got sucked out of the Garden and the Knicks along with it. And you just saw it. Yeah, you just saw it, man. It fell apart.
Crickets.
Yeah, and the Knicks, I'm going to say this about the New York Knicks. For the next 5 years, they're going to be a pain in everybody's ass. This team still has massive draft capital, massive flexibility. Jalen Brunson, right? I got a feeling they're going to make a big move in the offseason. And the words muttering around, the little birdies chirping, right? And I got a couple of birdie friends, one or two in the Garden, a couple other places. Everybody knows Durant wasn't happy in Phoenix this year. Everyone knows he made a mistake following Kyrie to Brooklyn when he originally wanted to go to the Knicks. And I really, really think there's going to be something like a Randall Robinson and a bunch of picks for Kevin Durant this offseason. I think it's very possible.
Wow.
Durant's an older player now. He's not obviously what he was a couple of years ago, but I don't think they need him to be what he was a couple of years ago. He's an off-ball player, which still leaves the ball in Brunson's hands, so it fits nicely, right? It actually fit. As much as other people want Donovan Mitchell, and I know your team also wants either Booker or Mitchell, somebody like that, because your team is actually in a very similar position when it comes to cap-wise. You can afford to go star. You got expiring contracts with Tobias Harris, your favorite player. Buddy Hield is expired. Yeah, so you got a bunch of expiring contracts yourself, and I think that this New York Philly rivalry is just starting in the NBA. I think we're going to see this for a minute now.
It is. I think last I heard it was over $60 million in cap space going towards the Sixers. I mean, they're going to have to pay Maxey, but there's also
Game 6 of Knicks Sixers was the most watched playoff game in 5 years.
No, I didn't know that. That was the most watched playoff game in NBA history. That was the most watched playoff game.
5 years. In the last 5 years, it was the most NBA playoff game. So it generated a lot of interest. Probably a lot because of the New York Philly. You know what I mean? Two major market cities. People into it. People watching. So, the Knicks are gone. It's looks good. I know you're happy. Screw you and all you people in Philadelphia. Just remember, the Wells Fargo is our house. It's our house. We have a Southern home now. It was
Cancun.
during the playoffs.
Cancun.
Yeah, well, you save our seat there because you're warm, right? You got the beer set up on the bar for us.
Listen. Nobody, I told you last week, too. Nobody expected the Sixers, once Embiid went down, to really do very well. I mean, I'm a huge anti-play-in game tournament, whatever they want to call it. I think it was a dumb move. I honestly think it's a conspiracy theory to keep LeBron James in the playoffs, because the 1 year after he kept saying, I think it's a dumb idea, but, it is what it is. Then they go and they put it in, and the Lakers made the playoffs, I think, as a 9 seed. You looking that up?
No, actually, I was
okay.
communicating with someone.
Looking that up.
We are going to have a test today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking forward to that. Let's continue with the NBA for another minute or two.
Okay.
The play. We now have Indiana going to Boston, right? And in the other conference, Minnesota did exactly what Indiana did. They went to Denver, and they won in Denver, knocked out the defending champs. So for the 6th straight year, there will be no repeat in the NBA, as they will take on Jason Kidd's Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving. People saying they think Indy has a puncher's chance. I think Boston's going to smoke Indy, personally. I don't think Indy's that great. And if the Knicks had been at full strength, the Knicks beat them in 5. I think Philly at full strength beats them in 5 or 6. I don't have that much respect for Indy yet. Show me something. Go beat Boston. I don't think they can. I'm taking Boston in 5.
Okay. I don't think that Indy has the firepower and honestly the experience. I mean, these guys have been in the Eastern Conference Finals how many times in a row, and including a finals appearance.
Yeah, they're
I
all the time.
I don't think that they have the pressure. Probably going to end up getting them. You know what they say: pressure makes diamonds. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to say Boston in 6.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Boston.
Fuck Boston.
But I think they're the better team.
Yeah, they are. I mean, just better all around.
Now,
But
the
shout
other
out to the
series-
Beans, TJ McConnell.
Oh, shut up already with him. Gee, let me tell you.
The Nick Killer.
Long. I don't want to get too long because we got to get our guest in here eventually in a little while. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give Kyle something. He's a freaking pest, man. That guy's a pest.
Isn't he?
I can't. He would actually be a perfect Nick because he's a pest like them. But man, I got no love for TJ McConnell. He used to give us fits when he was with Philly too. That guy.
I know.
I
know.
It just is. All right, Mike. So let's talk about Minnesota, who just beat Denver in 7 in Denver, impressively. Coming from behind, will now be playing the Dallas Mavericks, who have more experience with Jason Kidd and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. These guys have kind of been to games. What do you think about this series?
All right. So, in order to beat a champ, you got to beat the champ. Minnesota did that. They're playing really well. I see them beating Dallas in 7. It's going to be a really good series, though. This is going to be the best of the 2.
And what makes you think that? Because of Anthony Edwards? Is it specifically
Anthony Edwards?
Or the combination?
They're gelling together really well. Rudy Gobert's doing great. Anthony Edwards, the spawn of Michael Jordan, they're saying that he might be Michael Jordan's son. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Will. Wow. Oh, I'm going to go with Dallas, man. I think that the experience of their 2 big players, and again, Jason Kidd, who's been in a lot of big games as their coach, I think it might be their time. I will say this. I think if Dallas wins and Boston wins, Dallas can't beat Boston as to where I think Minnesota could. But now with that being said, we're talking about NBA playoffs. We're going to bring in our first spot, our first guy. I got you, a guy from Jersey. Yeah, I got a guy. I'm from Brooklyn. I got a guy. Of course, I got a guy. Are you kidding me? This is the gambling degenerate friend of mine. Wow. Yeah. So we're going to say hello to Mr. Frankie Ravioli as he enters the stage. And there he is. Frankie Ravioli. Welcome to the battle.
How we doing, fellas? How we doing? Audio better?
Doing good, man.
You got some shit on your shirt, Frank.
I'm taking this to Parks in about 20 minutes, so
They let you in with that thing? They let you cross the bridge?
It's all silly fans. Come on.
Yeah, listen, man, you got to cross that Burlington Bristol. That's what it is. Wait till that rickety cricket goes down when you want it.
What's you been? 2 World Series? 2?
Yeah. So
we went grass with 2.
Oh, that's cute. How many did you buy?
5, 6.
There we go. I got.
All right, so let's get to business, right? Because Frank is one of the biggest gambling degenerates I know. He was perfect to bring on this show for this purpose. And
thank you,
Frank. As you know, you're welcome. That's what friends are for. And we're talking about conference finals coming up. The Knicks are gone now. Denver's gone now. We got Indiana, Boston. What do you think of that series, Frankie? What are you looking at?
I mean, you gotta like Boston. I'd love to see Indiana win, and I'll be rooting for Indiana. But betting wise, I think you got to take Boston. But they're minus 900, so there's no value in betting that.
Yeah.
Thing that I saw online was I like Boston in 5. So you do the exact result. Boston wins 1 and 2 at home, loses game 3 on the road, wins 4 on the road, wins 5 at home. That pays 5.5 to 1. So at least you're getting a little value there if you can hit it right. So I'll go with 100 on Boston to win in 5, losing game 3.
I want to apologize to everybody for Frankie Ravioli's audio right now. He has Rice Krispie gang hanging out next to him, giving him all types of snap, crackle, pop.
First time, huh?
So,
Anybody?
what do you think about that's better? What do you think about the Minnesota and Dallas series?
Well, I heard your comments on it, and I hate to agree with anybody from Philadelphia, but Minnesota gets my money.
Yeah.
Wow.
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 Yeah, Anthony Edwards, Gobert, and the way, actually Nas, the guy from friggin' LSU, has been playing. The last game was phenomenal. So I just like their big men. But I do agree with you. I think the best shot at beating, well, you said Minnesota would probably beat them, right? Could beat
Minnesota can beat
Boston.
Boston if Boston advances. I just don't think Dallas. I just don't think Dallas matches up well with Boston as to where Minnesota is very athletic and does.
Right. I mean, the only way that Dallas could beat Boston would probably be with what's his name, just putting up 50 every game. It's the only way.
We're all being very presumptuous here, right? And I'm going to tread carefully because I was presumptuous with the Knicks when they went up 2-0, and obviously I didn't see the OG Anunoby injury coming. That really, to me, changed. I was telling Mike that changed the whole series because now Pascal Siakam could just go nuts all over the place. And that's basically what happened. They couldn't defend him or TJ freaking McConnell. And, it changed the series. So I'm not going to sleep on Indy, but I do think Boston in 5 is a good bet. That would probably be the bet I would go with. I just experience. I don't think they have a matchup. If Boston's going to lose this series, it's going to be because Indy steals 1 or 2 early before Porzingis comes back. If this series is tied or Boston has the edge when Porzingis gets back, they don't have anyone that can defend him. Indiana's poor defensively with their bigs anyway. I know everybody was talking mad snap about them because, they play good defense against the Knicks. They play good defense against our backups. All right? The Knicks were all hurt. They were on the bench. They didn't play Mitchell Robinson. They didn't play OG Anunoby. They didn't play our best players. So I can't respect their defense until I see them do it against somebody's starting 5, not the bench.
Excuses are like assholes, Turk.
No, I agree with that, but their offense looked phenomenal, Indiana. Like the way they set up their offense nice against the Knicks. They were getting open looks every game that I watched. If they can do that against
a team 7% in the half, that was an NBA record. That's unbelievable. They did that. Unbelievable.
I saw a lot of shots from the top, not from the top of the key, but right at the free throw line too. They were getting to the same spot every time and pulling up.
Yep, and I'm a Gonzaga guy. So my boy Nebhart, I'm rooting for him for Indiana.
Oh, a Gonzaga guy too. Oh my
God, I love
Frankie. We're not going to be great friends, brother.
You're Villanova. I get it. You're Villanova.
For victory.
We're both small schools. What the fuck?
It's a very prestigious school at
I know
Villanova,
Mike, that's you a Knicks fan. You should be a Knicks fan. We got the Villanova 3, bro.
They do.
Why would I be a Knicks fan?
Because the Villanova 3.
3 kids. That's all I saw.
Are you going to bring in Kyrie Irving next year?
Nah.
Oh no. Anybody who does that is out of their mind. Actually, I was telling Mike earlier on the broadcast, Frank, I got little birdies. I told you I know people in the city working for different teams. Right. And little birdie tells me they are very in on Durant, and Durant seems to want to shake loose and make up for New York and going to Brooklyn instead. His businesses are in New York. He lives in New York in the off season. And the common thought is becoming that if the Knicks are interested, that he may force his way out of Phoenix to get to the Knicks, which I happen to think is a perfect fit because, okay, everybody says Donovan Mitchell, right? Everybody wants Devin Booker. I don't want them because the ball has to be in Jalen Brunson's hands for him to be effective. And those are two other ball-dominant players. Durant doesn't need the ball in his hands. You know, he can run off pick and rolls. He can run off of screens. He can set up the pick and pop. You know, Durant is that killer from the field that will not allow them to double team Jalen Brunson in big games, which we saw both Philadelphia and Indiana team up on Jalen, basically saying, anybody else try to beat us, we're willing to let you do it. They even let Dante DiVincenzo go for 9 in Game 7, you know? So I think that's a good fit, but that's an off-season story. I'm sure there's going to be lots of banter
I
from
love
NBA and the off-season. You know, NHL hockey, okay? Now, I'm not the biggest hockey guy in the world anymore. Full disclosure, I was a much bigger hockey fan before the lockout. I got turned off after the lockout, but I am still a Ranger fan. I do follow them. If they start getting deeper and deeper, I pay attention. The Rangers look like the best team in the association right now. The league, I don't. Florida's good, and I think Carolina's better.
They're really good.
Florida's actually a favorite.
I actually think that's very disrespectful.
And I agree. I think the Rangers are going to win that series.
Listen, I don't see the Rangers even having a chance. I'm falling asleep. I don't even know what he's doing right now. It's probably the Rangers goal scoring.
That's right.
And just like Adam, I was a bigger hockey fan back in the 90s. I was a Devils fan. I grew up in Central Jersey. Florence is not Central Jersey, by the way. It's South Jersey.
Yeah,
is it?
In the middle of the state. That makes Central. The middle of the state would be Central.
They go to Trenton. They say anything above Trenton.
He doesn't want to admit he's living in South Jersey.
Geography with you.
Look at him.
He lives in a suburb of Brooklyn, Sayreville. He's from a suburb of Brooklyn.
Bon Joviville.
Oh my God.
State, Central Jersey.
I think I can't take a hit.
Oh my God. But let's get back to the subject.
Anyway.
I
think the Rangers win that series.
But how are they the underdog after winning the President's Cup and dispatching of Carolina, who they were the underdog to in 6 games? I'm starting to find it rather disrespectful to the Blue Shirts that the experts don't think they could beat anybody when they've beaten everybody. Rangers in 6. That's my call on this one. What do you think, Frank?
I agree. I think the Rangers win the series. Best team the whole year. I know they were up 3-0 and they almost blew that series 3-2. Then they're in Game 6. They're down 3-1, and then what's his name had a freaking phenomenal third period. Get him.
So you ain't putting an exacta box or nothing on that?
What's that?
He's playing the song.
Philadelphia. I know you hate us right now because I still have a team in the playoffs. And what do you got? You got Philadelphia.
Mike,
I got the Phillies running the entire, just ruining baseball for everybody right now.
Mike, what year were you born?
88.
Oh, so you've never seen the Flyers win a Stanley Cup?
No, I never saw the Flyers win the Stanley Cup. Okay. Hold on. How many World Championships do the Yankees have?
27.
Okay. How many of them did you see?
Wait, that screw up, Adam?
78, 96.
How many of them did
I
you
was
see?
2,000.
2? How many parades did you go to?
7,000. Rangers won.
I didn't go to parades.
2.
Right, you didn't go to any parades because you guys are frauds.
I can tell you the funniest story about the parade. The one time, 98 parade, one of my good friends calls out of work, and the boss is like, "You better not be going to the parade." No, I'm sick. Not feeling good. He's on the train. The whole train is going fucking nuts, ready to go for this parade. It's like, listen, I got to call work and call out. Everyone quiets down. Can't hear a peep on the train. He's like, yeah, this is so-and-so. I'm not feeling well. Next stop, Penn Station. He got
nice. Nice.
The ultimate out.
Right. Did you go to any parades, Adam?
You know,
I'm sorry?
Adam, did you go to any parades?
I went to one Yankee parade.
Okay.
I went to the 98 parade because I just
That was
had
a big
to.
one.
The greatest team of all time, most wins ever. You know, that team was just ridiculous. And while I really am not big for the parades and shit like that, I did go to that one. I did push myself to go to that one. And it was phenomenal. It was great. It was a great experience.
Awesome.
You know, and now we're into baseball. We're talking about that now, it seems, right? And I don't know if you've looked at any of these, Frank. You know, he's a Phillies fan. He thinks he's running things. He has the best league in the record right now by one game. The Phillies are in first place by one game in May. Congratulations, Mike. You'll get your May trophy. May on it. That way, both teams
Like my grandpa
on a
used
little
to
bit of
say,
a
if
collision
you win them in
course.
April, you don't need them in August.
All right, so I did look at some futures for baseball. And in honor of the I-95
Ooh.
Battlefront podcast, I do like it too. Now let me just before I say
Okay.
that. So hold on, before I say that, my ex-wife, she's a diehard Phillies fan.
Okay.
So my son,
That's why she's your ex?
I
No.
understand the divorce now. I get
so she got baseball for my son. So he's a Phillies fan. I got
Okay.
football. We'll talk about
Yeah.
my football team later. But anyway, I did look. All right, so it has the Phillies over the Yankees in the World Series. If you take it now, it's 30-1. If you take the Yankees over the Phillies, it's 35-1. So we're going to put 100 on both of those. Although you're going to win 3,500, not 1,000.
bastard. You're gonna hedge. Why are you hedging?
Wait, why would you hedge?
Well, that. All right. So everybody's gonna see that last part got cut off a little bit, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. You know what I mean? It is just unbelievable that people can do the things that they do. How the hell you do this, Mike? You did this last time, goddammit. How'd you
So
do
you're
it?
going to tap the screen.
How'd
Come on, old head. Tap the screen. Okay.
Oh, I got
Hey,
it. I got it. I got it.
Solo layout. No, not that guy.
Oh, not
Oh, he's a
you,
handsome
Frank.
gentleman, but you got
Wait
to
a
tap
second.
your
What are
screen,
you here?
not
Well,
Frankie's
nobody
screen.
wants to see Frankie Ravioli. What are we
I know
doing?
you don't see me.
God.
Wait, before you start, man.
There it
Okay.
is. Go ahead.
All right.
Start screaming, you
All
fucking
right.
nut.
Listen to me. You guys did this to Mike last week, and you just did it to me fucking now. When you get clicked once, right? You call back once, it's kind of acceptable. You call back the second time, you're a jerk off. You call back a third time, you're an asshole. You call back a fourth time, go fuck yourself. Enough. Don't call me. Now, where was I now? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, we're going to go back to this now. Right to where we belong. Oh, my God. Look at this. What do we got going on here? Oh, my God.
The best mascot
So for those that
in
can't
the NHL.
on radio, Mike just brought out Gritty and put Gritty in my face. After
That's
my
a,
break.
that's
Yeah, that was
a
dumb.
golf cover. That's a golf head cover. I can't wait to bring that out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very attractive. All right, so let's get back to where we were. We were talking Yankees, Phillies futures, and we got to the point where we were talking about it was 30-1 for Phillies over the Yankees, 35-1 for Yankees over the Phillies, which tells me the Phillies are a favorite, which tells me
Right.
the experts are on crack.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
I don't get it either, and and it's no disrespect to Philly. Philly's playing great baseball right now, right? The National League is, I think, a little bit deeper than the American League. I think we could all agree with that. Probably a little bit of a harder road to go through the National League playoffs this coming year as opposed to baseball. And it's May. It's May. I don't think anybody really knows what they're talking about, but those are what your bets are. I would think right now it's a pretty safe bet that the Yankees are going to win their division. I don't think Baltimore is going to keep up with them. I don't care what anybody says about Baltimore. They're a bunch of kids. They're good. They're going to be a problem for a while. The Yankees have a three-headed monster right now of Soto, Judge, and Stanton that are hitting the ball out all over the place, and they haven't even had Garrett Cole throw a pitch yet. And he's throwing the batters for the first time tomorrow. The Phillies, however, you guys got to get through Atlanta. And I know that right now you're in first place. You're in good shape. Atlanta in the long run is a pretty good long run type of team, like season-wise. Think you can hold up?
But, see, they don't have their ace. They don't have, was it Freed?
Right.
So he's out for the season.
For the year, too.
So, yeah.
He's gone for the year, right?
Right. So that they don't have it. You don't just go out and, I'm going to just find somebody to fill that spot. I mean, that would be a blockbuster type trade to pull that off. That's the only way you're going to get that. And I mean, right now, like my grandpappy used to say, you win them in April, you don't need them in August. So, as far as longevity, yes. Usually Atlanta has proven that they can keep up and they can win over 100 games. The Phillies are on pace to win 115 games this year.
Let's not get crazy.
Pace, though, Mike.
Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a pace. It's a pace, okay?
Yeah, it's a pace.
It's a statistic.
It's a pace of delusion.
That if they keep up, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Adam, here we go.
I'll tell you what.
Here we go.
Oh, don't, here we go. Don't even get me started with this now. Right? So he's talking about a pace. Yeah, I get it. The pace, 115 games is the freaking pace. I'm not buying it. I'm just. I'm not buying it at all. I just think that for them to keep listening, they're hot right now. You know the way the season works. Same thing with the Yankees. There's ebbs and flows. There's going to be the point where you lose 7 out of 10 or whatever, and people are saying, "Oh, what's wrong? Your team is shot." Blah blah blah. So there is a long way to go in the season. I think 115 is very unrealistic. There is as much chance of that happening as there is of me growing tits and becoming a stripper, and that's not happening. So
I
let's
wouldn't
not
pay
get
a red nickel for that.
Yeah, neither would I, and they'd be my tits. So we're on the same page. I
like where you're going with it, though.
100 is realistic.
What's the Phillies record right now?
Sorry.
What's the Phillies record right now?
They're 34,
13 or something?
14.
14? Yeah. I mean, they'll get 100.
Yeah, they're going to win over 100 games. And I'm going to tell you why. You're as good as your weakest link. You got Alec Boehm right now over the last 10 games. 279 with 12 hits, a home run, 10 RBIs, 4 runs scored. He's hitting 330 on the season. With 42 RBIs, he's a league leader in RBIs. He's not even the best player on the team.
The Phillies are 34-14, right? 27-17. Got a little 5-game cushion. The American League, the Yankees are 33-16, and Baltimore's 29-16. They're even lost column, but the Yankees got a couple of wins.
Okay.
Again,
Now,
very realistic. Phillies Yankees, I think, is very realistic this year. Right?
It could be, and I'd like to see a repeat of that because that's the next guy we need off of our list for the makeups. We got rid of the Patriots. Now we get the 09 Yankees off of there. Oh, that would be a good one, wouldn't it, Turk? That would get views.
And I do agree with both you guys. Fuck off.
Oh, Turk, we completely lost you.
What do you agree with?
I agree with you, both you guys from last week. Fuck Boston. Nobody likes Boston. Nobody likes Boston.
Nobody likes Boston. Nobody likes Boston. Nobody's ever going to root for Boston.
Sweet Caroline's not even
That's
a good
right.
song.
Yeah, it's not even. Listen, Boston. I'm not worried about Boston because Boston sucks in baseball right now. They're a non-factor. The Orioles are the Yankees competition. That's clear. They lost 3 or 4 to the Orioles, so that's not going to be no easy task going forward. And as we progress further, the Jets had some practices, and Aaron Rodgers was on the
Here
field
we go.
throwing the pitch down. I can't help but to expect the worst.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
the worst. But I gotta be excited because he only played 4 plays. 4.
Well, they put him on Monday night again.
That's
And they put him on
300% more than he did all last year.
Yeah. Well, my feeling is he'll survive game 1 because there's no turf monster in San Francisco to grab him by his ankle.
Turf.
So
Get the fuck out of here with the turf.
Oh, come on.
There's a lot of
that Meadowlands is brutal. Dude, that turf. I'm going to go on a rant again about this right now because I don't understand how teams do this. Right? So check it out. You're the Jets and Giants. You chipped in for a stadium. You both took the cheap way out. And you can't even put down a surface to keep your own players safe. What are we doing? Why are we putting up these stadiums when we can't even put down a surface? Why can't we put in something like Arizona has with the grass that rolls in and out and this and that and this and that? What, we're too cheap? We don't want to spend the money on maintaining the grass? Get a life, will you? Start protecting your own players. So, like I said, it's not like Giant Stadium, Meadowlands, whatever you want to call it. That turf is taking out more players than Ray Lewis took out. That field is terrible.
Then the vet
it just is what it is. Well, the vet was a carpet on top of concrete, though, Mike.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, by the way, let's talk about this for a second. Frankie Ravioli, he roots for a Pennsylvania team too.
Which one?
But it's not your Pennsylvania team. It's not yours. No.
What a
Fraud!
fucking nerd.
Oh,
How can you be a fucking Pittsburgh fan and it don't even
Super Bowl champs.
So you're a bandwagoner. I get it. You're a
I'm not
degenerate gambler. You're
like
a
3
bandwagoner.
years old.
You get
I'm on a 48-year-old bandwagon.
Yeah, it is.
My parents didn't watch football. They didn't like the Giants or Jets.
Okay.
I watched Green throwing a jersey to a kid in a commercial. I watched Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris.
Okay. And where did you live? Like when you went to geography class, right? And they pointed out where Jersey was on the map. You were just like, oh, okay, Pittsburgh. You're 5 hours away from me, cuz. So I'm going to go on a rant. How's that? Here we go. Where you live is the team you fucking root for. Okay? At all times. All right? You live in Philadelphia, we got 4 guys. We got more than 4 teams. But you got the main 4. You got the Phillies, you got the Flyers, you got the Eagles fly. 4 touchdowns, 1, 2, 3. Look. You're from Jersey. I get it. The bastard state. You don't know if you're from New York. You don't know what you are. You're pissing in the different bathrooms. I get it.
What the fuck?
Pick either top or bottom. And that's all I got to say about that.
That was great. You do realize.
And then you got Ben Roethlisberger. He can't even fucking. That dude couldn't ride a motorcycle. He wins 1 Super Bowl. He's the best fucking goddamn quarterback known to me. I don't even want to get on it. I don't hate Pittsburgh. I really don't. But I don't respect them. Yeah, I said it.
Mike, 1933.
1933. We merged.
Yeah. They combined. They were the Steagles.
It wasn't 33. That's when the Eagles started.
Wait, that's when the Steelers started. I'm fucked up. Whatever.
Yeah, that's okay. Me too. I'm
Wow.
3 deep, right? So it's
It was
during the war. Yeah,
a year. Adam,
During
pull
the
up.
war.
You know.
during the war, because I read a book. You know.
But they were together.
Can't
Yeah.
do, yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles combined teams because the Steelers needed guys, and we had nothing but washed up assholes from fucking Kensington Avenue. And that was the first winning season that the Eagles had. Okay, great.
In a future,
fucking
about my venture to Detroit to go see the Steelers in Super Bowl 40. But we'll talk about that later.
So the Steelers were in 1943, and it was due to World War II. Both teams lost lots of players because of the draft. So they merged. But, here's something else I didn't know about. In 1944, your sorry-ass team, Frank, merged with someone else.
Is it
They were
Cardinals?
called Card Pit. Card Pit.
Yeah.
They were called. Oh, my.
Well,
What
the
kind of
shit
whore
pit.
team do you root? What a bunch of whores. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Wait, have the Jets ever beat the Steelers in the playoffs? Let me think.
I'm not going to comment on that to protect the innocence of those involved in this question.
How many playoff games have you won? Wait, did you go to Jets parade in 1969 when you were fucking a week old?
So we're really going to pick on the Jets, right? We're going to go pick on the Jets now, huh? Let me tell you something about the Jets. They are the best, worst-run franchise in football history. Okay, they are nobody's better, pathetic than the New York Jets, and
They are the best smelling turd in the bunch.
Don't start me on this Jet shit, right? I've been a fan my whole damn life, right? I'm watching this team since basically I'm old enough to piss in my diaper, right? And I can't even get home playoff games. You want to talk about championships? I want a home playoff game. I'm not asking for a lot. I mean, we went over this last episode. I am not going to defend the organization of the Jets. Unfortunately, you both noticed, no matter what sport it is, you root for the laundry. What you grow up with and what you choose is kind of what you're stuck with. You don't get to do it over again, It is what it is. And I told Mike this week, boy, did I pick the wrong fucking New York. Boy, did I make a mistake. I wish I would have went the other way. But unfortunately, the team, and they're a mess. I mean, the owner is more concerned with tweeting what our new uniforms look like. My head coach, I think he's sitting in the corner playing with Legos. Nate Hackett is going over Madden as we speak for plays. This is the way things work with the Jets. I really have to hope that a 4-year-old quarterback can save my life this year because everyone else in the organization is a bona fide schmuck. Don't get me going on this. This isn't the time for this. I told you that. This will be when we get closer to football season. I got plenty of for you when we go forward. But when we're talking about the Eagles and Steelers, two teams in the same state, some history against them with each other, kind of like cousins, like you heard people, bunch of cousins banging each other. I don't get it, Frank, how a guy from Jersey sandwiched between the Jets, the Giants, and the Eagles picks the Steelers.
Again.
That's like Mike. He went on a rant last week about Cowboy fans in Philly. How does that happen? I mean, you're born and raised in Philadelphia and you become a Cowboy fan. I'll never understand those things at all.
Again, I grew up in Central Jersey. My grandfather, diehard Yankee fan, inbred it in me when I was fucking 3 years old. Yankee fan. That was
I
it.
guess you got one
I'm
good
named
quality.
after him. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yankee fan.
That was inbred in me. I was a Yankee fan. My mom, my dad, football, they didn't care. They watched the locals, the Giants, the Jets on CBS and NBC at that time. And I started rooting for the Steelers. They were on Monday Night Football. They were on the highlights, commercials.
Frankie.
Well, what you think I'm going to become an Eagles fan?
Frankie Ravioli. So ravioli, I'm assuming you're an Italian, which means, like the Irish, you spend
We'll talk
Sundays
about
with
the
family, right?
after time.
You're spending Sundays with family. So there you are, little Frankie Ravioli, fucking about to try to steal mommy's fucking cigarettes and daddy's beers, right?
I didn't smoke till college.
Right? And everybody's watching the fucking Jets and the Giants. And what the fuck were you doing upstairs playing with yourself?
They weren't though. That's the thing.
You just said they were.
I'm saying that's what you got, but you also got the Steelers because in 75, 76, when I'm 4 or 5 years old,
yeah.
How good were they? It was the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Raiders.
Okay.
They were on TV.
Yeah, let's take that same let's take that same age, that same timeline. Okay. And this is why that bastard state over there just needs to they need that earthquake to happen and you just float out and become your own country, right?
It already happened.
I'm 5 years old. Who's in the Super Bowl? The Steelers and the Cowboys. And I'm booing both of their fucking asses. I'm wishing a comet comes and knocks out that stadium and just there'd be peace on earth and in the Middle East if there were no Cowboys fans and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Because I got to hear about Sixburg. Come on, dude.
Sixburg back then.
Huh?
They weren't Sixburg back then. They had 4.
They weren't Sixburg back then, but now we're talking about now.
This went off the rails.
Well, I'm so adamant about that. That is so weird to me that somebody who lives in an area can go, like, if you told me like your great grandfather was from Pittsburgh, and after the war he came back and he found a nice house in Jersey. That'd be great, but
that ain't happening.
No, that didn't happen. It's just, you're like, oh, well, these guys are winning, so I'm going to go ahead and pick them.
What can I say?
So we got off the rails.
All right, well, at least you admit it.
We got off the rails, right? We got into football a little bit. I wanted to try to hold off on football. We're going to have plenty of football to do over the next couple of months as we creep up on the 2024 NFL season. And I'm sure that, with Frankie Ravioli joining us, we're not just going to have 2 opinions anymore. This is going to be like a trifecta of misery for me. It is.
Especially with Tom was coaching the Steelers.
Yeah. Okay. So listen to this. This is the last thing I'm going to bring up.
Guy.
All right. This is it.
Best average coach
for me. Right. He tells me Tomlin's average. This guy's never had a losing season, won a Super Bowl, and he's average. I had Adam Gase and Rob Saleh. And
2 years after he was there, it was Cowher's team. Come on.
Wow. I mean,
those players.
You've been doing.
So wait, hold on. So when the Eagles won, was that Chip's team?
I don't know if it was Chip's team. It might have been Andy Reid's team.
No, Chip Kelly was there for 3 years, destroyed the whole team.
3 years, Chip Kelly?
Yeah. He did. I don't even think he had he had one losing season.
No, but what I'm saying is the Steelers were unlike the Eagles back in the 90s and the 2000s, the Steelers were always in first or second place, usually drafted third,
man. The Eagles won a couple divisions in the 90s, brother. I mean, come on.
You won a bunch and then you lost the championship games at home every fucking year.
Yeah, that was the 2000s.
That was and then you finally beat. I know you lost to Tampa when they won.
Atlanta Falcons.
The Mike Vick one, yeah.
Those were fun times. Watching the Eagles losing the championship game every year. I can't say.
Who was it? Rondé Barber? Rondé Barber?
Oh, boy, was that fun. That was a lot.
It was fun, too. I can go somewhere else.
It was fun, too. I'm going to tell you something else that was fun. It was fun watching the Jets beat the Eagles with Zach Wilson last year. You lost to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson. That's all I'm going to say.
It was the bit. Listen,
the mic moment.
Last year, I don't know what happened. I was watching a team that was just in the Super Bowl that kept up with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I was arguing about field conditions because that's all you could argue about. It was a great game. Right? He's spitting. So, wait a minute. And then out of nowhere, it was just like our star wide receivers arguing with our star quarter, and then we're here, and then we're there, and then
What the fuck?
exactly. What the fuck happened? Out of nowhere. That fucker came out of nowhere. That momentum just dropped, plummeted. It looked like the fucking stock market. It was
like
ridiculous.
It's like the movie Replacements. Quicksand. They fell into quicksand. They're up.
That thing sunk faster than a fucking Titanic if there were 3 icebergs.
Yeah. Icebergs don't sink in quicksand, but okay.
You know, it's fun. We're talking about basically different eras. You know, we're all looking at our own individual different eras. I'm looking at the Jets' eras of futility with very little sprinkles, and Frankie Ravioli was talking about the Steelers and how he got into them when they started winning Super Bowls. And you obviously born in Philadelphia, you've been through with the Eagles. There's really only one consistency in sports. There really is.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
And
Gotta
that
love
Sounds
John.
like Joe Biden trying to make a press conference.
He got a little senile the last 5 years, but yeah.
That guy sounds like he's trying to chew on his own ear.
Back in the day, you listened to that and you watched the Yankees on TV. That's what you did.
Agree with me, right? Being a Yankee fan has been literally an honor of my life. I never thought I'd see any one team win so many times and always, like, except for 2 years in the last 30 years, always be in the mix, like always have a chance. You know, they're always getting into the playoffs. They're always, considered a threat. And I know that I take that for granted. You know, it's almost so automatic that it's embarrassing, but I got to eat the other side of it with the Jets. I expect the same with the Jets the other way. I expect disaster. I expect the Jets to be ready to go to the Super Bowl and the freaking comet that sets off the next ice age hits right in that shithole in North Jersey, and they don't even get to go to the Super Bowl because mankind just got wiped out. That's the type of stuff I expect with the Jets. You know, it's funny how you're conditioned. Cool. Oh no, it really would not. I mean,
the Jets win the AFC. They're going to the Super Bowl and the mankind.
No, Mike, I told Adam this plenty of times.
He what?
I've told Adam this plenty of times. Whenever Adam dies, you have to bet the Jets to win the Super Bowl. It's going to happen afterwards.
You're the mush, Adam.
Yeah.
Well, he was 3 goals. He did one, sort of.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like they won 3 days after I was born. I'm convinced they're going to win 3 days after I die. That's how it's going to go down. So if I die in February and the Super Bowl's that coming week, bet the Jets I'm gone.
Oh, I would.
Yeah. Final subject, get us to, because we're running short on time. And with that being said, at this time, we have to say goodbye to our first guest, Frankie Ravioli. Frank, it was great having you on the show, man. It's a lot of fun. We talked a lot of smack.
Thanks a lot, guys, for having me. I totally appreciate it. I'll give you more gambling stories next time we talk. But in the meantime, I hope all your bets are winners in the following week. And let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers. Let's go Rangers. That's right, baby. Let's go Rangers. All right, Frankie, it was great having you here. And I guess we will see you next week. And there goes Frankie Ravioli. I think that went well, Mike. What do you think?
Hey, he's a cool guy. I mean, he's got a lot of flaws, a lot like yourself, but I think he could stay for a little bit. We'll let the viewers decide, but until then, I think he's all right.
Well, at least if he's here, I know there's someone else with baseball taste besides me. I'm not the only one with baseball. So that helps. So I guess next show, if everybody just as a little preview, we will get into the Eastern Conference Finals in both the NBA and NHL. We will have Frankie Ravioli's Bets of the Week again. Another segment of that and BSing with my friends. And Mike, you have a good weekend, Mike.
Hey, listen, and I want to tell all the viewers, have a safe, happy Memorial Day weekend. Everybody be careful out there. I know I'm going down the shore. You going down the shore?
Me?
Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere. I took a
You
couple
ain't
of days
going
off.
down the shore? Nah.
I'm good.
Now
I'm
Wildwood.
good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I'll be continuing to have a few of these down at my campground. I just want to thank all the service members that are here and not. This one's for you.
And I echo that. And everybody, please like and subscribe. If you look for us on the pods, please subscribe to our pod. If you're on YouTube,